morning again. Good morning, Wakefield High School. Yay. Thank you for coming today. How is everyone feeling? Yay. Okay, my name is Fazia Dean, and I'm the Deputy Outreach Director at Dar Al-Hijrah. And it's really important that I am here because I am the right arm to my Director of Outreach. And what do we do in outreach is things like what we're doing today. Welcoming people of different faiths, welcoming the schools, and I'm so happy to hear that you guys are in a history class, right? Studying world religions. So, do you like our little globe here? That's the most I can come up with today for the globe of the world. But before we go anywhere, I would like to just everyone to introduce themselves who's here today to welcome you and just say a little bit about what we do, okay? So again, I'm Fazia Dean. I'm the Deputy Outreach. I do a lot of things, including mentoring kids in the DC Detention Center, and I'll let our director speak a little bit more on all the things that we do here at Dar Al-Hijrah.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Is it working? Yeah, it is. Good morning and welcome to Dar Al-Hijrah Islamic Center. It is one of the oldest Islamic centers in this greater Washington, D.C. area and one of the largest in the nation. As I'm sure you know that Muslims, we come for Friday prayers in huge numbers, just like going to a church on Sunday or a synagogue on a Saturday, Sabbath, right? So on Friday, we have about close to 3,000 or more people who come for Friday afternoon prayers. There are a lot of programs that take place at Dar Al-Hijrah Islamic Center. Even as we speak right now, we are having a seniors program in the lecture hall to the right, and moms and kids program in the library. Along with that, we have League of Women Voters of Arlington. They're here as well. So a lot of this, and almost on daily basis, there are programs and activities that are taking place. A little while ago, so every Thursday morning, we serve close to 400 families who are going through financial challenges and they need some help when it comes to food and groceries. So every Thursday, we serve close to 400 families and we provide them with a bag full of 1 week worth of groceries like sugar and flour and oil and chicken and meat sometimes as well. The community, our community is very diverse. We have close to, according to our estimate, there are close to 50 different ethnicities that make the membership of Dar Al-Hijrah Islamic Center. So we have community members who have come from all over the world and become a member and part of Dar Al-Hijrah Islamic community. My role here at Dar Al-Hijrah is Director and Imam for Outreach and Interfaith Programs. So we work with other faith communities, faith organizations, when it comes to issues of poverty or when it comes to having better schools and education, when it comes to raising awareness on the immigration reforms. So we work with other faith and other communities in these different areas as well. Meeting with the governor, and next month we are going to have large numbers of the members from the Virginia community that will be meeting with the governor again to raise awareness on the issues of affordable housing and school reforms and all of these things. So I'm sure you'll have some questions for us. We can take that later, but for now, back to Sister Fazia.
So You'll notice we call each other sister and brothers. That's one of the things we do here at Dar Al-Hijrah. And I just want to introduce you because it's a rare sighting when I see our busy directors around. I grab them. This is our youth director, MK. I'm going to let him say a few words about what he does here at Dar Al-Hijrah. This is Wakefield High School. Thank you for coming in and walking into this. Welcome.
I should have stayed downstairs. So, hey guys, what do I do? Let's see. So we have a lot of programs that we Mohammed, MK, just for simple. We have a lot of programs that we try to cater. For example, as you guys can see the basketball court right here. We do open it up every Sundays at 3 p.m. We have like an engagement talks. Let's say if you guys have certain issues that you want to talk about, from Islamophobia to like, bullying, also it's a workshop that we try to engage with our youth downstairs in the youth lounge. So when you guys make the tour, you'll see the youth lounge where we have the games and activities. So I try to keep more things more interactive, not just like, when you think about like religion, you're like, oh, here's comes the lecture, right? So our goal is to kind of interact, understand where you guys at, where your challenges are in your faith and your spirituality. And then from there, we kind of like try to make that engagement with the context. So that's about it. I have a fun job. I really love what I'm doing. I left the corporate world to do this. Not that I'm telling you guys to leave your corporate world, but go get your education and whatnot, but you got to do what you're really passionate about, and that's important. All right.
Thank you. And the youth department is open for a tour this morning. Thank you so much. So like MK, I'm also an immigration attorney, and I left that world to serve as deputy director because I thought it was important to stand up against hate, to stand up against Islamophobia, to stand up against any kind of bigotry, bullying, anything like that. In this department, we affect and work really hard against these negative rhetoric in our community. So we're happy that your school is here, and I'd like to introduce some of our young people on our team, our civic engagement team. Adam, please come up and say a few words about what you do here. Come on. Yes. And if you, I do have some volunteers in the room. You'll notice that we do have a team, Aisha, right over there with the red scarf. She will be taking some pictures. If you don't want your pictures taken, please let us know that. Teachers, please let us know if that's okay. It's just for our outreach. And Syra over there with the scarf around her face, feel free to ask her any questions. Iqbal, our yoga instructor, is walking by. Come in and say hello. And Adam, just say a few things about civic engagement and what you do for the young people.
All right. So first off, my name's Adam. I've been just graduated from Mason. I've been coming here to Dar Al-Hijrah since I was like a kid. But recently, within the past year, I've been involved with the Government Affairs Department, whether it be going to the Hill to lobby for anti-Muslim hate crime bills, or what else have we done? Or like legislation against Myanmar, against Rohingya for what they're doing to the Muslims in Myanmar, as well as civic engagement activities as far as getting out the vote, or just reminding people to go out and vote no matter what party. Like, we don't care, just to go to the polls, as well as or hosting town halls here with public officials and different things within that sphere. Yeah.
Thank you. So Adam is going to be part of our tour guide today, right, Adam? Yes. So we're going to give you guys a tour. We're going to attempt to. But I do want you to know, like the director said, Imam Naeem Beg, that there are many things happening this morning. We do have an over 50 educational program going on in the lecture hall. We have a kiddie program in the library. We have ESL upstairs, and we have this. And our yoga instructor is going to help us. Do you want to help us, or are you just here for like a few minutes? Okay, so she might help us with tours because I think we have 110 students today. 110 students? Who's awake? Put your hands up. Yay, there's a couple of you that are awake. Now, I want you to know that don't hesitate. Who is it that this is their first time in a mosque? Put your hands up. Whoa. Welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here, and I really want to thank your teachers and your school for bringing you out. I think you should give yourselves a hand. So we're going to attempt to, and don't forget, if you need more information about voting, it's become really, really important to vote. We just think that it's really important that that's information. If you need it, the Voter League is behind you. Please stop at that desk. And the Imam also put out some Qurans. You're going to talk more about that in the Q&A, I think. So you're going to have an opportunity to walk around the mosque as much as we can in about 15 minutes and come back to this room. Bathrooms are along the tour and right there where that door is. But as you go around as the tour goes around, we'll point out bathrooms for you as well. Don't leave here today without asking those burning questions on your mind, like why do you wear a scarf or why do you cover your face? Please don't hesitate to ask those questions today. Ask us anything you need, but first take the tour and write your questions down, and we'll see you back here in 15 minutes. Now, before we separate, I need a teacher to confirm. Is there 110 students in here today? And who are the teachers that we have with us today? I don't have everybody's names. Nicola, thank you for coming. Colette, thank you. Lilia, thank you. Sally. Kathleen Malkin, thank you so much. And Victoria, thank you for arranging this very much. We do this every year, and it's just really, really great. Don't forget, again, we have the voter people early in the morning waiting to give you information as well. So here we go. 15 minutes, we're back in this room, okay? All right.
Which also, Brother Muhammad Idrisi is our also chef as well. So I will request him to make a call to prayer so you will get to hear the adhan in Arabic. So when you hear this call to prayer, the etiquette is that we are silent and we reply. And usually it's saying the same words that the person is making the call to is doing. Right? So, Brother Idrisi, whenever you're ready.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allah is the greatest. It means Allah is the greatest.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Again, Allah is the greatest. So the Muaddin calls it 4 times.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
I bear witness that there is no God but God Almighty.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except God.
Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah.
I bear witness that Muhammad was a messenger of God.
Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah.
I bear witness that Muhammad was a messenger of God.
Hayya ala salah.
Come for prayers.
Hayya ala salah.
Come to prayers.
Hayya ala al-falah.
Come to success.
Hayya ala al-falah.
Come to success.
Allahu Akbar, Allah. الله أكبر
God is the greatest. God is the greatest.
لا إله إلا الله.
There is no deity worthy of worship except God. Thank you, Brother Muhammad. Jazakallah khair.
What does the moon represent?
Sorry,
The moon. What does the moon represent?
the moon. All right, where do you see the moon?
They saw the minaret.
Oh, the minaret, okay. So, to be very clear, there is no religious significance of moon in Islam. Alright? God Almighty talks about the creation and the sun and the moon and the stars, all of these things. But Islamic calendar, as is the Jewish calendar, it follows the lunar cycle. So, Jewish calendar also revolves around the moon cycle, and so is the Islamic calendar. So, that is the only significance when it comes to the moon from religious perspective. Now, you can say that in many of the countries, for example, on top of the minaret, sometimes they put a crescent sign, or in some countries in the world, historically speaking, the crescent, as a symbol, came into the Muslim world during the Ottomans' time. So it really has no religious attachment as a Muslims to the crescent. Any other question?
At what age did the girls start wearing scarves?
At what age? So it starts with the puberty. So whenever someone becomes an adult, the hijab becomes an obligation. It becomes a fard, as we say in Arabic. But you will find, for example, our young sister Saira, she covers her face. Some only, like Sister Fazia, covers her head. But it is a basic idea is that it's a dress of modesty. So we also see that in some of the pictures where Mary or Maryam, mother of Jesus, also with a scarf, with a hijab on. Most of the nuns in the monasteries, they also covered their heads. And many other faiths, women also covered their head as well.
I do want to say that I wore the hijab about 4 years ago. So coming to the hijab, yes, it's an obligation at puberty, but some people, like every religion, come into religion when they know more about it. So I started really going from legal learning to religious learning later on in my life when I chose to put the hijab, which this is called. But my daughter, when she was 17, she wore it.
Yeah. So it's a process. It's not, all right, today you have to start doing it. It's a slow process, and that's what it is. Right. Any other question?
Any questions about what you saw? Remember, some of you saw different things in the restroom. Anybody had questions?
How come when you are cleaning your feet and your hands and your face, why do you have to repeat it 3 times?
So ablution.
Oh.
Why do you
ablution.
repeat everything 3 times?
Yeah. So ablution, in Arabic we call wudu, okay? Not wudu, all right? Wudu. So it is a process of purifying ourselves. So not only that we are physically, but also mentally preparing ourselves for prayers. So it's a process of spiritual cleansing. Now, technically, if you say that, can just washing once or rinsing your mouth once, will it suffice? Yes. But we do it 3 times so that to make sure that what we are doing is done completely and nicely. It is how we learn from the practices of Prophet Muhammad may peace be upon him, that this is how he taught us to do.
Why would you say there's a rise in Islamophobia in the last couple of years, and how would you teach other Muslims to deal with that?
All right. It's a good question. What is the term phobia? When you hear the term phobia, what does it mean? Fear, right? Fear of something that we do not know, that we are not have experienced something like that, so we develop these phobias. So spiders and all of these things people have, different kinds of phobias. Over the last few years, the term Islamophobia has, you probably have started to hear a lot. And it is because that, yes, it is happening quite a bit. When I came to the US, I was doing my master's in Chicago, and there was no such thing. We didn't experience any hatred or any violence, and we're going to the school and working late at night. But now, in the last, especially since 9/11, it has slowly increased. But interestingly, immediately after 9/11, the numbers were much lower. But then in the last few years, we see that the numbers have increased quite a bit. We can say that a main reason for that is not having proper information about Islam. So most people do not know about Islam. Last night, my wife, she likes to watch NCIS. So she asked me to, oh, this is a new show, why don't you come and sit? And usually I just sit with her to support her. Okay, she wants me to sit and watch this show. I'll say, okay, I'll do that. But I can tell you that as the show was going on, I just said, come on. I mean, what they were showing in the show was completely, it was not just phobia, but it was hate, what was being shown on the television in this popular show. Showing that, okay, there are people who are around you and can all of a sudden become dangerous for you. I mean, this is totally wrong perception of Islam and of any community. There are good and bad people in all societies, all communities, all faiths. But presenting one faith like that really makes it very difficult for us. We also see that sometimes our politicians, political leaders of the country, when they also make statements targeting one faith or one ethnicity or one community, it also causes the rise of phobia of a community. So I will say that major issue is the having proper information about Islam and Muslims, not knowing someone who's a Muslim. So there are different surveys done by Pew and other research institutes. They said that when they asked a question to someone who does not know Muslim, among those people, the favorable position of Islam was much lower than compared with people who knew Muslims, and when they were asked about their favorable opinion about Muslims, so they had much higher favorable opinion. What it tells us that these people who know Muslims, maybe in the school, as neighbors, or in their offices or business partners, they know that Muslims are also good people. They care for one another. They want our country to become better, and they're doing and working and all of those things. So.
Thank you, Imam Naeem. Now, we're running close on time for you to leave, so I know Adam wants to share his perspective really quickly from a younger perspective about Islamophobia. I'm not going to say very much except that I'm on the ground and running. If you have this, please look at your seat. You'll pick up one of these. It talks about outreach and a lot of different programs that we have here at Dar Al-Hijrah. Take this with you. It's very informative. And feel free to come up and look at the Qur'ans on the desk up front. And if your teachers allow you, you can actually take one with you. So Adam is going to say something, and take your trash. If you have trash, there's a trash can on the exit sign. And right now we just have a few last words from Adam and maybe 30 seconds from the Voter League.
Thank you. So I just want to build on that second question about, I guess generally, if I'm rephrasing properly, how American Muslims can combat Islamophobia. And for me, it's in civic engagement. I work for an organization called Mgage, in which, like I said, it is in civic engagement. And last year, what they had done in Virginia was they increased the Muslim voter turnout by 40%. And this year, our goal is to do that by 20%. This is how, in my world, that I combat Islamophobia. And in this year, 2018, there have been more anti-hate Muslim attacks than ever in the U.S. And there have been more Muslims that are running for office and winning than before as well. Like in Congress, there's Andre Carson, there's Keith Ellison. Yasmin Talib is running against State Senator Dick Saslaw in this district. We've got people running for school board, attorney general seats. The Secretary of Education in Virginia, Atif Qarni, is Muslim as well. So for me, it's being civically engaged and getting out there, whether it's educating people to that extent. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Now, we're not promoting any candidates, but Adam is actively involved.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for welcoming us from the League of Women Voters. My name is John Clough. This is my wife, Nacha Clough. We're going to give you a quick pop quiz. It's only 10 seconds. Anybody raise their hand who's heard of Shelley Simons? It's okay if you haven't. Okay, Shelley Simons ran for House of Delegates in 2017 and lost by 1 vote. And had she won, the House of Delegates would have been 50-50 Democratic Republican. So again, we're here from the League of Women Voters. We're not endorsing anyone. But it is very important that everybody register and get out to vote. And now, Nacha's going to read something for you guys.
Okay. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assembly, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This is the law of the land.
Was that an amendment? First Amendment. I guess you guys already know that. You can clap if you want to. I want to thank the teachers in the room, my volunteers, all the volunteers that got up early, communications, my director that came out early today to welcome you guys. Thank you so much. I want to also tell you that we're going to try to do a group photo on the stairs at the front. So if you can orderly follow your teachers to the front hall exit sign, and we'll do a group photo. Thank you again, and feel free to come back.
Okay, 1, 2, cheese.
Queso.
Queso. Perfect.